Hotel World. This your brother Matthew Daniels, aka Pooh, aka the Chosen Few, aka the Real Bookworm. I'm not a bookworm. I'm the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. And I know y'all saw the title of this one. How do I get my book published? Now, I'm asked this question quite a lot. And I was going to begin my series explaining to people how to actually write a book with this topic about giving people tips and advice on how they can actually go about getting their book published. But I felt like the majority of people need help creating the actual work, as opposed to needing help actually getting published. I mean, you have to create the work before getting the work published is actually something that needs to be prioritized. Now, of course, if you're writing to see your book in print, and if you're writing to sell your novel, which majority of people who are writing are, at some point you are going to have to deal with the situation of getting the book published. Of course you're gonna have to deal with that, but a lot of individuals, well, everybody, we should start with actually creating the material, okay? Because if you don't have any material, then knowing how to publish a book or knowing how to get a book published, it won't really help you. You need to get it published after you actually have the work. So this video is geared towards actual writers who you may have written several novels and you don't know what to do with them. They're sitting on the shelf, or they're saved in your computer. They're on the hard drive. You may have a novel that you have on a USB drive. You may have it in PDF form, and you may send PDFs of your book, your novel, your work, to individuals that you know, friends and family, and you let them read it, and you haven't actually been able to get over that hurdle of getting your book published, because it's not as straightforward as a lot of people will believe. Okay, there's several different ways that you can go about getting your book published. Some are easier than others, some are more cost effective than others, and different publishing companies offer different services. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover a lot of that in this video, but by no means, as always, by no means am I going to be able to in detail cover every single thing about actually getting your book published, because you kind of have to take it on a case-by-case basis, an individual basis. What may work out well for me getting my book published may not work out well for you. What work out well for you may not work out for the other hundreds of people who may see this video. So is always good to know what your options are, so that you can choose the best option for you personally. Now, I will say, if you've been following me, I have several books out. My latest book that I've released, called Thicker Than Water. You can see it here on your screen. I published this one myself. And I don't mean self-publishing. I mean I published it myself. Okay. I recently created the Real Bookworm Publishing Company, and I publish books now myself. So the quick answer, shameless plug, the quick answer to this video, how do I get my book published? You can reach out to me, and maybe going through me and going through my publishing company, using my publishing services, is your actual best option. So you could always go to www.TheRealBookWorm.com. That's www.TheRealBookWorm.com, and reach out to me, send me a message, let me know what it is that you're trying to do. If you have a book and you're trying to get that book published, you may want to reach out to me and let me know that you're trying to get that book published, and I can do what I need to do to help you out. Okay. I do offer several different services. I don't try to make a one size fits all. Being an author, I understand the needs of an author a lot better than a lot of companies that publish books. You know what I'm saying? A lot of companies that publish books and they don't actually write books themselves, and they've never actually gone through the process. I understand it a lot better than some of those companies out there. And so what I try to do is I try to only offer the services that an individual needs. Okay. Sometimes you'll find individuals that have packages that you can pay for, that these packages entails you getting your book published, but they offer you things that you don't need, so you're paying for things that you don't need. There, you maybe you need assistance editing your book. So if you need assistance editing your book, that is something that I could help you with. But if you can edit your own work, it wouldn't make sense to pay me a all-inclusive package deal where I'm charging you for editing your work. You understand what I'm saying? I also can offer training and coaching to help you complete your work. If you haven't completed your work, I can help you get from start to finish. Now, I'm not writing anybody's book for them, but I can give you ideas. I can help you move along, and I can help you get from beginning to end with your book. And after you've finished writing your book, I can definitely publish that for you and get that book out there where individuals can purchase it. Okay, so you could go to my website, www.TheRealBookWorm.com, and just reach out to me, and we can discuss what it is that you need. If you already have a novel, if you're trying to create a novel, if you need help finishing your novel, if you need help editing your novel, or if you just need to get your book published to where, it could be selling online, possibly selling in stores, and where individuals can purchase it. Depending on what you need, we'll figure that out, and we'll work on a price that's specifically geared to you. Now, let's go into some other ways that an individual can get their book published, and some of the problems with that, and some of the pros of that, like the pros and cons. Okay, well, obviously you can reach out to one of the major publishing companies that publish books that you read. You can do something as simple as a Google search. You can Google publishing companies, and you may want to Google a publishing company that publish books in the genre that you're writing in. Now, with some publishing companies, they publish any kind of genre, but a lot of publishing companies, they deal with certain types of books. You have some companies, they deal with romance novels. You have some companies, they deal with children's books. You have some companies, they deal with something that's called urban fiction. Right, you have some that deal with murder mystery, true crime, biographies, things like that. So what you would want to do is first Google publishing companies that publish the type of book that you have written. Or if you own books that are in the same vein, the same genre of the book that you wrote, or the book that you are attempting to write, then you can look inside of that book and see who published that book. Okay, now when you go to these publishing companies, when you go to their websites, what you're going to realize is there are various ways to submit a manuscript. They're gonna want you to submit your manuscript so that they can review your manuscript to see if they even want to publish it in the first place. Now, a lot of the problems with this, I went through this for several years. I'm going to be honest. I went through this for several years, and I hated it. I hated the whole process of trying to reach out to one of the big dogs in the game. Okay, and what you're going to find is different companies require different things. You may go to one company and you have your novel edited. You already know what you want the cover to look like. You already know what you want your bio to say. You already have the synopsis written, and you're like, man, I have my book is finished, my book is awesome, my book is great, I want to get it published, you know. And so you have your book, you have it saved as a PDF, and you go to this website and you want to submit it, and then they'll tell you something like, okay, well, we're not accepting manuscripts at this time. And you're like, oh. And they may be accepting manuscripts, but they may say something like, okay, the only manuscripts that we are accepting, they have to be submitted like this. The font has to be this size. It has to be this type of font, right? The lines have to be double spaced. Each chapter has to come with a short paragraph describing what that chapter is about. Okay, we need headers, then we need footers. Okay, and we only want 3 chapters. So here you are, you've written your book, you know, you converted it to a PDF, so you got the PDF file and you're ready to submit your manuscript. But then they tell you that now you have to go back in and you have to change the font size, you have to change the font type, you have to construct short paragraphs explaining what each chapter is about. So now you have to go back over each chapter in your book, and you could possibly have over 20 chapters, over 30 chapters, depending on how many chapters are in your novel. And then you have to write short paragraphs about each one of those paragraphs, okay? And then, you know, upload it and submit it. And a lot of them, they're going to tell you something like, it's going to be 3 months to 6 months before you will even hear a response if we're interested. You may not even hear a response if they're not interested. So you've completed your novel, you're amped up, you're excited. I know the feeling. You're excited, your heart is pumping fast, you put all of your time and energy and effort into completing this book, and now you're ready to submit your manuscript because you want to get your work published. And then you have to jump through all of these hoops to actually submit it how they want it to be submitted, right? And then when you get ready to submit it, they're also telling you that it'll be 3 to 6 months if they respond, or 3 to 6 months when they respond, if they respond. And so you can wait 3 to 6 months waiting on a response that may never come. And so you'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to increase my odds of getting my book published. I'm going to find another big dog publishing company, right? And I'm going to submit my manuscript to them as well. This is another thing that I thought. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to submit my manuscript to like 10 different people to increase my chances of having my manuscript accepted and published by this big dog publishing company. And guess what? Each one of those companies may want you to submit your manuscript in a different way. So they may tell you that, oh, that last company may have told you that your font size needs to be this and the font type needs to be that. And so then when you get ready to submit it to this other company, they may want your font size and font type to be something totally different, right? And they may want you to submit your entire manuscript, or they may want you to submit only the first 6 chapters. Or they may just want you to submit the synopsis and paragraphs about what each chapter is with a chapter title. And you may not even have a chapter title. So now you have to go back and you have to change the font size, you have to change the font type, you have to create another PDF of however many chapters they're asking for, and then you have to create chapter titles, okay, on all to submit it to them. And then they're going to say something similar to, it may be 3 to 6 months before we respond, if we respond. And so here you go again. And so you could possibly be going back in and editing and changing and making new PDFs and writing new things out and deleting old things. And you may have to do that 10 different times to submit it to 10 different publishing companies. And that is a headache, especially if none of them respond. You, man, look, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. You can send out your manuscript to all of these people and be waiting a year, man, or more, only for them never to respond. Man, I sent my manuscript off, my first novel, Suicide Note. Man, I sent it off to so many people. It's ridiculous, world. It's ridiculous, man. I got so frustrated. They almost knocked the fight out of me. But I'm the type of person, I'm very self-motivated. They almost knock the fight out of me, but I'm very self-motivated. I don't give up on my dream, and you're gonna have to not give up on your dream. You see? But if you want to get your book published by one of the big dog publishing companies, then, go through those steps, submit your manuscript. That is something that you can do, because if you get accepted, right, those big dog publishing companies, they will be able to do things for you that an individual such as myself just can't do. I'm primarily a writer. I'm an author. I haven't published the works of the greats. You see what I'm saying? I don't have the connections that these big dog publishing companies have. And I'm not going to pretend that I do just to get your business, because like I say, I'm okay on money. You understand what I'm saying? I honestly, I created my own publishing company to publish my own books, really. But, I was talking to my wife, and I was like, you know what? It may be people out there that are struggling just like I struggled. And I came up with it. Well, you know what? I'm going to just create my own publishing company, and I'm going to set up my own deals to where I can publish my own books, and I can be happy. I can be happy with the results. And so I just offer those. I offer those services to other individuals if they don't want to go through some of the things that I went through. But if you can get on one of those big dog publishing companies, by all means do, because they'll be able to do things for you that I can't do. And I'll just be upfront and honest about that. I'm not trying to, beat you out your money. I'm not going to lie. Okay. So another route that people take, outside of the big dog publishing companies, is the self-publishing. And what people mean when they say self-publishing is, instead of submitting your manuscript to one of the big dog publishing companies and hope they accept your manuscript to print it, an individual pays a self-publishing company a flat rate, and they do all the heavy lifting for you. This is kind of what I'm talking about. They do the heavy lifting for you, and they will get your book published. And what's good about that is, a lot of the time they're not worried about all that, submit your manuscript so we can read it, yada 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 yada. They're like, hey man, you're gonna give me $1, $2, $3, $3,500, $5,000. This is what I can do for you. And they ain't really worried about vetting your manuscript. They're not worried about vetting your work, because you're paying them for a service. You go to, you're paying them for a service. They're gonna provide the service as long as you provide the funds. So you don't have to worry about all of that. This type setting and this and this font and all that. No, you pay us the money, we're going to get this book in print for you. You pay us the money, we're going to get this book in print for you. Now, the problem with that is, everybody don't have the money that it may cost to do that up front, because some of these plans, they're upwards of $5,000. Anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. Now, depending on who you go to, and there's hundreds to choose from. And it's always going to be a little scary, because you don't know if these people are going to run off with your money. It's always somebody out there doing bad business. You know it, and I know it. There's always somebody out there doing bad business. So you're gonna have to step out on a limb with some of these self-publishing companies, and they're gonna want you to pay them an exorbitant amount of money. Like I say, I've seen some that were like upwards of $5,000, and they'll be like, okay, we can do this, we'll 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 get your book sold here, we'll get your book sold there, we'll get your book sold here, we'll get your book sold there, and we'll give you this many books of your own that you can sell personally, right? And like I say, it's pros and cons in both of those. So what you would just have to do is, again, Google. Google is amazing. Excuse me. You can go to Google self-publishing companies, right? And what you want to look at is, because they're always going to have packages, okay? They're always going to have packages. Now, one company may have 4 or 5 different packages, depending. It's just like I told you guys, like what I do. It's all dependent about like what is it that you want them to do for you. Do you want them to just take your manuscript and print it there? They'll get it published for you. Do you need them to help you to create the cover, right? Do you need them to actually do the editing? After it's published, how many, this is another big one that varies with the packages, how many books you get as author copies that you can sell. You may go with one package for like $2,000, and they'll do everything for you. They'll give you the cover, and when the book is published, they'll give you I don't know, 50 copies, 25 copies that you can sell yourself. But then if you pay the $3,000, you know what I mean, they'll edit it, and they'll put the cover on there, they'll put the back cover on there, they'll give you the option where you can put several pictures inside of the book as well, because you paid that extra money. And then when it actually gets published, you'll get 100 books for free, right? You'll get 100 books for free, and that you can sell on your own, right? So if you don't go to the big dog publishing company, you can always go to like a self-publishing company, and that is just about, are you willing to pay that money? Because you're gonna have to pay that money. It's like purchasing a service. You know what I'm saying? It's like purchasing a service, right? Or like I say, you can do what I eventually did with Thicker Than Water. I mean, you can figure out how to do it for yourself. You know what I mean? You can figure out how to do it for yourself. Now, there's a lot of steps involved in just doing it for yourself, and it's not free. It does cost money to actually do it yourself. How I was able to publish Thicker Than Water. You know what I'm saying? You can, do your due diligence, man. Do your due diligence. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? But see, the thing is, it's all about, remember, it's all about what you need and what you want. A lot of times we go into this. I'm gonna tell you about me. When I wrote my book, I was thinking that it was going to be like, okay, I got a novel. It's hot, it's heat, it's fire, it's good, it's great. I get a lot of good reviews from people that's already read it, right? I'm going to submit this manuscript to all of these big dog publishing companies. They're going to get it. They're going to see the value in it, and they're going to say, "Hey, man, we'll give you $50,000 if you sign with us, like I don't know, like a rap artist or something like that, getting a signing bonus." I thought I was going to be a author getting a signing bonus, and I'm going to get $50,000 to sell my book. And it ain't happen like that. I'm not saying it can't happen like that, because one of the big dogs may want to do business with you like that, and they may want to give you money. But the thing is, people don't like to take risks with their money, especially when they're already established. Okay, so if you're an unknown author with a unknown track record, and you haven't even proven your ability to sell books, right? And you haven't even proven that there is a market base for the type of literature that you're trying to produce, no one's really going to want to take the risk to just, here, 25,000, 50,000, let's do business together, because they have no way of gauging if they're going to get a return on their money. So you're going to have to, what I'm trying to do, what you're going to have to do is show them that you can make money on your own. Do what you have to do to get your books published, right? And get your books selling, and create a fan base. And hopefully once they see that people are responding, and responding well to you as an author, your literature, your works, and they're buying it, and you're generating funds, they're going to want in. And they're going to say, "Hey, wait a minute, it's some money being made over here. Let me see how I can get in with this money." And then they may come and be like, "Hey, look here, Matthew Daniels. Look here, Real Bookworm. You've been making a little noise in the book world, in the self-publishing world. You doing these kind of numbers. Hey, we want to have a contract with you for X amount of books, and we want to do it like this." And then at that point, I can say, "Well, hold on," because honestly, I don't just need you at this point, because I've already done the heavy lifting and I can get my book out there on my own. But realistically, there are still things that the big dogs can do for you that you can't do for yourself. So you would have to decide if that's something that you want to do, right? So again, getting your book published, it may not be as easy as you think it is in your mind, right? And going to the big dogs may not work, and you may be waiting a long time to find out that it's not going to work. And then going to some of these self-publishing companies, you hey, check the pricing, man. Don't go with the first one you see, because the first one you see, it may be $5,000, maybe $2,500. Maybe you can get it for $1,000. Maybe you can get it for $800. Maybe if you go to www.TheRealBookWorm.com and reach out to me, The Real Bookworm, depending on what you need, maybe I can do it for a rate that's lower than any one of those guys. You know, but like I say, I don't just have pay me this much and I'm going to publish a book. I could do that, but I'm an author, so I'm a hands-on type of individual. You know what I mean? I want to know where you're at, because I love literature, and I think the world is better off with more literature in it. I say this all the time. So you can reach out to me and let me know where you're at. Maybe you need help completing your book. Maybe I can help you complete your book. Maybe I can help you formulate your thoughts a little better. Maybe I can help you become a stronger author. Maybe I need to help you edit the work. Okay, maybe I need to help you come up with ideas for the cover, and then actually go into publishing the book. I want to take those steps with you if you deal with me. You see what I'm saying? If you deal with me. So that's why if all else fails and you want to reach out to The Real Bookworm, and you want The Real Bookworm to help you not only become a better author, but to get your book published, just reach out to me. Let me know where you're at. Just send me a message. Let me know what you're trying to do. Then I can tell you what I can do for you, and based on what it is that you need from me, I can tell you, okay, this will cost this much, this will cost this much, this will cost this much. Because what if you only want to help edit in the book? You know, I'm not going to charge you to publish a book. If you can get your book published somewhere else, you just want to help me edit it. Or maybe you just want me to publish the book. You don't need help editing. I'm not going to charge you for editing. I'm just going to charge you to publish the book. You see what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to get into the realm of making you pay for something that I'm not even doing, man. Like I say, I am an author. I know all about that. So, if you have any questions, any more specific questions about actually getting your book published, just reach out to me. Go to www.TheRealBookWorm.com and just ask your questions. You know, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Ask your questions, and I'll help. I'll help anybody become an author, and I can help you get your book published. You know, you can also purchase my novel Suicide Note on my website, and you can purchase my novel Thicker Than Water on my website. Just go to it, click the link. And I also have a lot more videos where I'm talking about giving out free tips, tools, and advice on how to become a better author, how you can actually write your book better. So go ahead and check out all that free content. Watch those videos. I'm not going to hold you guys up any longer. I hope you got some insight into how you actually can go about publishing your book. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Okay? This your brother, Matthew Daniels, a.k.a. Pooh, a.k.a. The Chosen Few, a.k.a. The Real Bookworm. I'm not a bookworm, world. I'm the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. And as always, may your name live on forever, and may your memory never die. Hotel.